The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed or products endorsed are not necessarily those of KTOV, its staff, or management.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy good morning to you wherever you are. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and today's show is being brought to you by your favorite Allstate Insurance independent agent, Marilyn Hildreth. If it's insurance that you need, call Marilyn, 843-0811. Marilyn will take care of business for you. I don't care what the problem is. She will do it. Today is an exciting day because we have a special dedication today. Today we would like to dedicate our program to Barry Sanders and John Starks. Sanders of the Detroit Lions and Starks of the New York Knicks. Mr. Sanders and Mr. Starks played football and basketball respectively while attending Oklahoma State University. But what they have done is a step forward for our people. They have bought a bank. A bank. Eddie W. Jackson has been named chairman of the board of directors of American State Bank after a change in ownership. Eddie Jackson, well known in Oklahoma City, he served as president of Lincoln National Bank, vice president at Liberty Bank and Trust in Oklahoma City. He's also an attorney. This bank was bought by Barry Sanders of the Detroit Lions and John Starks of the New York Knicks. Now, American State Bank, as you know, was organized in 1968 and has two branches in Tulsa and one in Oklahoma City. And we would like to congratulate Mr. Sanders and Mr. Starks. Don't tell me we aren't moving ahead. Just think about that. Wonderful, good news. And good news is banking news when you can think beyond that football or basketball. Today is a very exciting day in Oklahoma because today is a day when many of our people will be going to Texas and Colorado and what have you. And coming out to the radio station this morning, Calvin was just hollering, beat Texas, beat Texas, beat Texas. I don't know what you're thinking, but I do know that Mr. Gates is thinking about you. He is thinking about your head needs, and you want to look good for the weekend. All you've got to do is to go to Gates Barbershop, 2609 North Martin Luther King here in Oklahoma City. Mr. Gates and Mr. Gamble are waiting on you. You don't have to wait. All you'd have to do is to walk in there and tell them what kind of haircut you want. They can take care of the haircuts of the past, the present, and give you a future haircut. They specialize in being the best. If you can remember last year, I gave away hundreds of pounds of chitlins. Well, I'm going to beat that this year. I'm going to give away so many chitlins until you're just thanking me. And those of you that want to benefit by my chitlins and my turkeys that I will be giving away this year. Not only that, I have a gift certificate from the clothes closet. And no telling what I will have for you during the months of November and December. Well, Hometown Groceries invite you to 2001 Northeast 23rd Street, where they will stay open 24 hours for your convenience. Hometown, 2001 Northeast 23rd Street. As we approach the harvest season, and this is an exciting season to see the trees and to hear them speak with their beautiful colors and say, look at me, I'm turning. Well, Dr. A.L. Dow would like to fix your glasses so you can really look. 934 Northeast 8th Street here in Oklahoma City. The telephone number is 235-0536. Dr. A.L. Dow will accept your appointments. Passion Home and Health Care, 3838 Northwest 36th Street. Now take this telephone number, 943-5779. And if something is wrong, call Passion Home and Health Care. Deborah Jackson wants you and your friends to have the best. Once again, call 943-5779. Ask for Deborah Jackson, and she will take care of business. When I think of flowers, I always think of Exotic Flowers, 3671 North Everett Street here in Oklahoma City. The telephone number is 424-7659, and you can call for flowers for all occasions. Chances Jardina's Daycare Center, located at 1643 Northeast 50th Street. The telephone number is 424-4656. Now, if you want your child to get expert care, call Johnson's Jardina's. Once again, that telephone number is 424-4656, 427-5274. I had the opportunity to go to a celebration last Monday night where Mrs. Gloria Matthews was honoring one of her longtime employees, Mrs. Spotwood, Miss Smallwood. And it was a celebration. There was a family. It was really a family setting at the Sleepy Hollow restaurant. There they had everything you can imagine. The cake with a camel. You know, Linda and Brenda are twins, and you can't do for one unless you do for the other. It was an occasion to remember. Her brothers and her sisters. Linda's son was there from Denton, Texas. It was quite an affair. And I will be telling you that Mrs. Gloria Matthews was in her glory, and she was happy because to make Gloria happy, all Gloria does is she continues to do something for somebody else, and that really makes her happy. And certainly she made all of the people happy. Among the distinguished guests that was there, Mrs. Bosie Walker, Mrs. Williams, and it was quite an occasion, and I will be telling you more about that later in this show. Chances Jardina's, where you can drop your children by. They will pick your children up. That's Chances Jardina, 1643 Northeast 50th Street here in Oklahoma City. They have all kinds of games. They serve breakfast, lunch, and a snack. They have qualified teachers. They have been approved by DHS. Now, once again, Johnson Jardina's, and Dina Red spoke so definitely and so influential about the employee that Mrs. Matthews was honoring. There are a lot of things that we would like to get off with today. Many of you have called me and I told you that we would be giving away chitlins and turkeys this year. Now you have to go up to Freedom Center and study that monument because most of our questions will come from the monument and the Black History Wall. And we want you to be informed. We want you to be the best informed people in the United States. And we want you to know your history. And I think that one thing that you need to know more than anything else is your own history. And that goes for blacks and whites. You need to know history. Because what is black history? It's white history. That's why I have written facts about the Black History Monument. I have written about people that felt the rhythm of history. Their veins and arteries overflowed with courage, dedication, determination, and hard work. I call them the flowers of God's beautiful garden. They're the strength of our past and the hope of our future. I want you to read my book. Remember that there were others, and their names are written on the eternal pages of invisible history. To tell the full story of the people on the monument would take pages and pages. Their stories are relatively untold. It is my hope that these facts that I have accumulated for you will spark the interest of others and lead to a more thorough study of each individual. It is my sincere hope that the facts about black history and the Black History Wall will be used to widen your own knowledge about black history and increase an awareness of individuals around you. This book is intended for those who continue to seek facts about black history. As I put this book together, I realize that only God knows the pain, the tears, the sorrow, the aches, and the suffering of a people. A people. Over 10 million people were victims of the slave trade. They came from West Africa. Now, you want to know how much this book will cost? I'll be able to tell you because my printer will let me know next week. It's facts about the Black History Monument and Wall. And I want you to visit the Black History Monument, the only one of its kind in America, located at 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I want you to read about people, and then I want you to start noticing people. Don't walk over people. I want you to notice people. Notice what they are doing. And the things that are really important is not whether you have a degree or whether you have money, but whether you have love in your heart. And speaking of love, I felt it the other night as I attended the graduation exercises of OIC. OIC, the Opportunities Industrialization Center in Oklahoma City. It was an affair that I shall always remember. There were 26 proud graduates with their blue robes on, and it was just interesting. The guest speaker was Joyce Johnson Henderson, a graduate of Dungey High School, a graduate of Langston University, and one who has made her marks on the pages of American history. She spoke to the young people about their responsibilities. She challenged them to go to the top. She was really concerned about the future of our people because as she looked out there at those young people, she told them, "You are the future." Thank you, Joyce, for such an address. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show. The NAACP State Convention will be held in Lawton, Oklahoma, and you are invited to participate. The convention will be held on October the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. Now, I want you to get those dates. Now, they are having a big state banquet on November the 2nd. But let's look at Youth Day, which will be November the 2nd in Lawton, Oklahoma at the Howard Johnson Hotel. Now, we are inviting all of you that are interested in freedom that are interested in development, that are interested in taking an active part in their own future to be present. We call upon you. We would like to have church groups. We would like to have Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, name it, because wherever you go and whatever you do, you are touched by the NACP. Now, a lot of people are ashamed to call out that I'm a member of the NACP. I love NACP, but let me tell you something. You should be proud of NACP, and we'll be meeting in Lawton. And in Lawton, you will be able to hear the luncheon speaker, one of our own, Shardina Fowler, a junior at Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, Oklahoma, majoring in engineering, will be the guest speaker for the luncheon in Lawton, Oklahoma. Now, those tickets are only $15, and I would like for you to call me because we are expecting to have a complete sellout. The soloist, the guest soloist, will be Carmen Bruner from Bristow, Oklahoma, and you know Carmen Bruner can sing. All at the luncheon. This is at the youth luncheon at exactly 12:30 p.m. The Oklahoma City NACP Youth Council will be going in large numbers because they are so proud of the fact that one of their own, Shadina Fowler, will be the guest speaker. In talking to Shadina, who had the opportunity to do some intern work in Wisconsin this summer, she said, "Oh, I miss NACP so badly, and I'm so happy to be back." Calvin, what do you think of this luncheon in Lawton, Oklahoma, with Shadina Fowler as the guest speaker?
Mom, of course, I'm looking forward to the NACP State Convention that will be held in Lawton, Oklahoma, and I'm looking forward to seeing youth council members and members of the NACP from across the region, from across the state that will be there because this is another great time that will be happening. But I'm just so happy to be back in the studio. I'm just walking around and I'm looking at Dean and all the other people out here, and we're just meeting each other because it's been such a long time since I've been here. But
That's exactly right.
It feels
You were not
good
here
being
during
back
the
here.
fair, and last week you were at Langston University, and Langston had the largest crowd in the history of that university.
Was it that large? Well, I
It
know it
was
was a
so
great
good.
crowd, but I know that we had some great people that we had an opportunity to work with at the state fair. But then to be there at Langston University and be part of that homecoming activities was really something. You know, we had a slight problem there when the transformer blew up. But then I was so glad for integration. I was so glad to
I know you were glad for integration.
I didn't realize that there were so many black people in so many important positions in OG&E and at Langston University. I didn't realize that there was such a diversity of nationalities that could work together, that did work together. And that Saturday, last Saturday, was really a Saturday where people of all races and all colors had an opportunity to produce, and we did produce, and we did a great job out there. And I want to thank all of those people at Langston University who, number one, came by the booth and bought catfish and bought gumbo. But most of all, I want to thank those people who are out there that work at Langston. You know, from the security to Dr. Jones to Mike, and Hassan and the several young ladies that were out there that helped us during that little crucial time when the transformer blew, and we had to put it all together. And Langston University had the staff and the knowledge to help get things going, especially for CP's Catfish. But it was a great time, and I know everyone who participated, everyone who went to Langston for the homecoming activities, I know that they had a great time.
Well, we certainly had a good time, and people were just talking about President Holloway. Hasn't he done a job out there, along with the other staff?
You know, it's good to see an administrator that knows how to delegate responsibility, and you could just see it all over that campus and the growth that Langston is going through and getting ready for the 100-year celebration, which I know is going to be a fantastic affair. I mean, I just felt good there on campus. And it just feels good to go out there and to look around and see the progress that has been made, the apartments, the attitude of the students, the attitude of the staff. All of those things combined together, it just makes you proud to wear that. It's not orange and blue, but it's a special orange and a special blue because it's not the color so much as it is the attitude that the Langston alumni and the Langston students have this year. It just felt good out there. Actually, so many good things happen out in Langston that we we,
Well,
we could talk
one thing that was
all day about
interesting
it. You know,
was
let's
that Lady Ruth Hunter presented the JELT scholarship, a $600 scholarship there at Langston University,
for that morning, right?
that morning, and it was
Okay.
really, I would like to
Well, there are
congratulate her.
numerous scholarships that go. I was so proud of our Miss Black Oklahoma
Oh,
participants and Miss Black Oklahoma
and
pages,
Miss Black
ex
Langston
pages, Miss Black
University,
Langston
and
University,
those
some of the
escorts.
escorts and the guys that come by, the head drum major,
Oh my.
the bass drummers, and then the participants in the band. And it was good to know these young people and to see them grow and to see them grow in a productive way. So thank you, Langston. Thank you for continuing to do an outstanding job and producing people that we all will be proud of. And I look forward to the next year.
That 100-year
That 100-year
celebration.
celebration is going to be something.
Calvin, when I first went to Langston University, I was young and ambitious. Then I went back Saturday. I'm old and still ambitious. You know, that's
Mom,
the way it sounds
just driving to Langston, going through the curves or getting there off the expressway, you get a different attitude now. You see that grand sign, and you know something good is happening out there. And I'm just so happy for the young people that have an opportunity to participate in the educational process there at Langston University. And we got to do what we can for Langston. We got to do everything that we can for it because that is a school that is producing leaders, is producing people that have that, what do you call it, get up and go about themselves.
Once you go to Langston University, you learn how to survive under any situation.
And you must have some of that dynamic Langston water. Now that water's inspirational. But Langston is the place. Langston is the place. But thank all of you out there at Langston University for the help that you gave us at CP's Catfish and Merlin's Gumbo. We certainly appreciate it. But then good things happen when you listen to the Clara Luper radio show here, especially at this time of morning. The phone number is 672-1220 and or either star 1220. I'm giving that early, Mom, because we have an exciting show planned and some good things that will be happening. But I want you to call that friend, call that neighbor, and make sure that they become a part of today's show because it is a great show.
The Chi Zeta chapter of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority will meet today at 10 o'clock at the Jimmy Stewart's building. All Zetas from all over this city are urged to be present. It is very, very important that all Zetas will be at that meeting today at exactly 10 o'clock. Calvin, as we look and as we think about the progress that we have made, we would like to congratulate all of you. And when facts about the Black History Monument and Wall come get into your home, and I want to put this book in every home. And sometimes you just sit back and you say, "Are you with me, team? Go, team, go!" And I know everybody from Hoffman, Grayson, Oklahoma City will want to buy facts about the Black History Monument and Wall. And so many of you have called me for my book, Behold the Walls. I hate to tell you this, but I have sold completely out of Behold the Walls, and I would like to thank you. And any of you that got my book, I can buy it back and sell it for more than I did before. Because
well, Mom, we don't want to do that. But then here's something. Facts about Black history, facts about the Black History Monument and Wall there at Freedom Center. I have a question that I know that you don't know the answer to.
Well, why would you ask me if you know that I don't know the answer to?
There must be something you don't know the answer to.
I'd like to know things.
I'd like to know the name of the young man of the company that put the Black History Monument, that actually made it a reality. We took the sketch to them and told them what we wanted, and I bet you don't know bet you can't remember the name.
I know the name of that company, and I know Lady Ruth does, and I'm not going to give it out because that would be a paid announcement unless they pay me to make the announcement. Calvin, we have two parts of our program, and one of this part of our program is saying to you, get out and vote. Now, it's a shame for women and Black people not to vote. It's a shame. And we shall spend the next few weeks telling you about the win. We will be telling you about our holiday specials, and we will be talking about the people that will be participating in our holiday specials, such as United Drugs, Javon's Beauty Salon, Raw Funeral Home, Temple Funeral Home, Petite Beauty Salon, Stell's Restaurant, Carbon Realty, Leo's Family Barbecue, Crawley's Bond Company, Vance Motor Company, and others. This is a time of year that businesses stop and say to each one of you, Happy Holiday. There are stories that many times we don't like to report, but because of our status as a news reporter, we have to report. And today we're going to report a story that you will make the decision as to what you think of it. But before I do this, may I tell you that we are now taking names for the Bachelor of the Year. And I have a name that somebody has turned in to me, or I turned into myself. Bishop Smallwood. That's some name. Now, Bishop Smallwood is not a bishop, so you widows and bachelorettes out there, don't say that you got a bishop. That's his name, Bishop Smallwood. Handsome, able to take care of a wife. He has a smile on his face that's out of sight. And he has been nominated, and we have another one. Mr. Mitchell of the Mitchell Bonding Company, who owns a grocery store. And Mr. Mitchell told me himself, put me on that bachelor's list because I am a bachelor. Nash Mitchell, Mitchell's Bonding Company, bachelor. And if you know any bachelors that are intelligent, that's able to support, please let us know because we're going to have some fun this year in selecting the Bachelor of the Year. Last year, Burley and Nero was selected as a Bachelor of the Year and got married. And boy, he got married, and we haven't been able to get him back. Well, one thing about it, this is what we would like to do. We would like to see all of the bachelors get married. And all of you bachelors up to jelts, we would like to see you get married. No use of sitting up there talking about what used to be. Let's talk about what is. The Clara Luper radio show. As I was telling you, there are many stories that we don't like to talk about. But what is history besides the story of men, women, events, places, and time? Sometimes the stories are wrapped up in a picture, a wall, a war, but it's a story. So for today, we go to a church that's well known throughout the United States of America, the Avery Chapel AME Church. A church that has long stood as a beacon light to those that believe in Christianity. We have many pleasant memories of Avery Chapel African Methodist Church, one of the first churches to honor the NACP Youth Council, a church where people would go from all directions. People would worship God in a way, an African Methodist church. But there was an incident, according to some, that happened at that church. And therefore today, I'm giving the people that were involved in that incident the opportunity to tell you exactly what happened as they saw it. Now, as you listen to this story, I want you to make up your own mind. The question is to believe or not to believe. And remember, there are two sides to every story. And those two sides we represent today. Good morning.
Good morning.
And what is your name, sir?
Simeon D. Roden.
Simeon D. Roden. How old are you?
24.
You're 24 years old. I understand that you are a member of the Avery Chapel AME Church.
Yes, I am.
Is that correct?
Yes.
How long have you been a member of the church?
I've been a member of the church. Next month would be a year.
You've been there a year. Have you been active in the church?
Very active.
When you say very active, what do you mean?
I came into the church as a transfer member from the Barnett Chapel AME Church of Lawton, Oklahoma. And when I came into the Avery Church, I immediately started working as the youth choir director and a full-fledged member, and I have been active ever since. I joined in October of last year, and I actually came in full membership in November, and next month would be a year that I've been at the Avery Church.
What qualified you to be an associate music director?
I had been AME for a very long time, practically all my life. I was raised in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and when I started attending the AME Church, I was 11 years of age, and when I graduated from high school, I had took some courses at Florida A&M University of Tallahassee in the music department, and I had started working in the different AME churches with youth and on workshops and voice lessons and just studying the whole ramification of music. And I enjoyed working with children and the as well as adult choirs do music. And I just felt like the Avery needed my help, and I went there and I gave it my best shot.
Okay, you gave Avery your best shot. You were a member, and you were. Wait, I want to get your exact title.
You want to get my exact title?
Yes.
At Avery?
Yes.
Well, at the time, since November of '95, I was hired as the youth choir director of Avery Chapel AME Church. I was the choir director for a period of 4 or 5 months.
Okay, what happened to you after 4 or 5 months?
After I was terminated as the youth choir director, I just became a member, a regular member. I attended church regularly. Some Sundays that I could not attend, I would go to other AME churches in the area.
Okay, you say you were terminated. Were you terminated? What do you mean by being terminated? You know, I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember I was terminated one time when we were chopping cotton, and they terminated me, but we called it firing. They fired me as a cotton chopper because I was chopping too fast and cutting down too much of the cotton.
Well, that's basically what happened. I was fired as the youth choir director.
And after you were fired, you continued to attend
I
church.
continued to attend the church.
Okay, now let's go back to last Sunday. You were at church last Sunday.
Yes, I was.
What was the nature of your business there?
I tried to attend every first Sundays at any AME church, and because I was a member of Avery, I went to church to receive communion, and the nature of me being there was simply that I was a member.
And you were there.
And I was there.
Okay. Tell us exactly what happened as you saw it.
Well, I had been hearing from different members of the church that Reverend Strong had been looking for me, and he had made some comments about tell Simeon that when I see him that I need to speak to him, and when I see him that it was going to be on. And I had gotten several phone calls from several members that had told me that. That was a week before Sunday. And I came to church, and doing the service had started, and right after we finished singing the Decalogue of the Summary, Reverend Strong came out of the pulpit, and he had beckoned for some of the stewards on the front row to come along with him, and I kind of acknowledged what he was doing because I had been told earlier that he had been looking for me, and he was very upset.
Okay, now I want to ask you, you had been told. Who told you that he was looking for you?
Well, previously to that weekend, the weekend before this particular weekend just passed, there was an incident at the bowling alley with one of the members where he confronted her about something that had happened a week before that weekend, about something that she had supposedly said to his wife, and they argued, and she didn't feel comfortable with him confronting her, and the only thing that I believe what stopped it was her husband had pulled up, and when he got out of the car, Reverend Strong got back into his car and told her, "Tell Simeon that I'm looking for him, and when I find him, it's going to be on."
Okay, it's going to be on, which probably was prayer or something.
Well, from what happened Sunday, I don't think prayer was what he was talking about.
But again, we go into the era of communication, and you say that he baconed for you to. Did he ask you to come, or did? How could you tell he was baconing for you? There were more people on that road than you.
Well, he came out of the pulpit, and like I said, he had asked some stewards to come, and some stewards denied coming with him, but there were three other stewards that did come, and they came up the aisle, and Reverend Strong stopped at my pew and said, "Simeon, I would like to speak to you upstairs."
Okay, so you went upstairs with him,
I went upstairs with him.
and then what happened?
We went into the secretary's office that was just directly upstairs above the sanctuary, and he sat behind the desk of the secretaries, and I stood in front of the desk, and the other stewards sat around me. I didn't feel comfortable enough to sit down because of the threats that I had received from him and the people earlier that morning telling me that he was looking for me and he was very upset.
Well, what's confusing to me, the people kept telling you. Why would the people keep telling you something about somebody else?
Well, anything that was said about Reverend Strong at this time, I had been there for a while to learn his character. The people, Avery, they were just. I mean, Reverend Strong had did so much to the members.
Okay, let's not talk about what he had done to the members.
Okay.
I'm just saying the people say, because I've been branded as what people say,
Yeah.
but I'm very particular about what I say that people say, because sometimes people carry the wrong information. Okay, well, let's get back to actually what happened.
Okay. Well, he sat behind the desk and he began this conversation by saying, Simeon, I've tried to be your friend for a long time by first hiring you as a youth choir director and giving you money. And what happened 2 weeks ago with my wife, I do not appreciate, and as a husband, I would not tolerate. And the only thing that saved you, Simeon, was your apology to my wife. And that was in his expressions to me, and I looked around at the stewards to see if they were going to respond to what he had said, because, I mean, basically he said to me, if the only thing that saved me was my apology to his wife. And I felt like that again was a direct threat. And I asked him, was he finished? And then he looked at me, and I said, well, Reverend Strong, let me just talk about the money situation. I said, I just want to explain to the stewards that any money that I receive from Avery Chapel, I've earned. When I came to this church, I applied for a $1,000 scholarship, and I've only received $500. I'm a full-time student at the University of Oklahoma, and we give out scholarships to students at Avery. And I applied for the scholarship, and I was one. I had received only $500. So I explained that to the stewards, and then I told him that the money that I received as the youth choir director, I earned, and you haven't given me any money outside of that. So I don't know what you're talking about when you say that you've given me money, and the money that I received from the church I've earned. And I said, and to go on about your wife, I said, the reason I apologized to your wife was to merely respect her position. I didn't feel that I needed to apologize for anything that I had said to her. And
did you curse his wife?
I'm sorry?
Did you curse his wife?
Oh, no, I would never do anything like that. I didn't curse her. We were in the sanctuary, and I went to her after something had happened during service 2 Sundays ago before this Sunday, and I felt like that I needed to speak to her because I started my conversation out with her by saying, Mrs. Strong, because I don't have the proper representation here like a mother or a father, I feel like it's my duty to come to you and express to you how I feel. I'm not trying to pass any blame on you nor myself.
Okay, you've told us that. Let's go back up to the secretary's office.
Okay, well, and after I said to him about the apology, I said, and you are saying that the only thing that saved me was my apology to her. And I said, is that supposed to be imposing some type of threat? and he jumped up out of his seat and began to strangle me, grabbed me by my necktie, and began to strangle me by putting his hands around my neck. At
And-
that time, the stewards had ran out of the office.
What stewards ran out of the office?
Well, the stewards that came up with him were Brother Yarborough, Brother Hudson, and Brother Love. And when he grabbed me and began to strangle me, Brother Hudson and Brother Love ran out of the office, which left me and Reverend Strong and Brother Yarborough in the office.
Are you telling me that a young man like you would let a middle-aged man like Dr. Strong strangle you?
Well, I was in so much shock that I wasn't expecting that to happen. We were in the sanctuary, and Reverend Strong was my pastor, and I just didn't expect any violence to happen.
And you let him strangle you, according to your statement.
Well, I don't think that I let. Well, as a matter of fact, I did not let him strangle me.
Well, what happened?
He grabbed me and began to strangle me, and I tried to push him off me. And when I finally pushed him off me, he came back at me again and knocked me down to the ground. I fell on the ground, and I twisted my ankle.
You fell on the ground or the floor?
The floor. The floor.
Okay, you fell on the floor.
Yes.
And then what happened?
I sort of twisted my ankle a little bit in his robe and between one of the chairs that was in front of the desk, and he grabbed me with his left hand and put his left hand around my neck and was trying to hit me with his right hand in my face. And at the time that he was doing that, he was verbalizing nasty words to me, and the only thing that freed him from me, or freed myself from him, was that I had to bite him on his finger.
Oh, so you bit your pastor?
I had to.
You had to bite him?
I had to bite him. He was on top of me, strangling me, throwing blows, trying to hit me in my face, and
Okay, now hurry, because I've got to go. I want to hear Dr. Strong's side of it. You're telling me that you bit your pastor on Sunday morning before the Lord's Supper.
Yes.
You bit him.
Yes, I did.
And then what happened?
Well, after when I did that, he jumped up off me, and I got up, and then he snatched the phone out of the wall, the secretary's phone out of the wall. And when he did that, I grabbed a stapler, and I said, if you hit me with that telephone, I said, I'm going to hit you with this stapler. And he said to me, well, that's just a taste of what you're going to get.
And then what happened?
I said to him, well, you'll hear from my attorney, and the people will know about this. And at that time, within those statements, Brother Yarborough said to him, now, Reverend Strong, you said you were coming up here to talk to this young man. If I had known you were coming up here to fight, I wouldn't have come.
Okay, I don't want you to tell me what Brother Yarborough said.
Okay.
But what did you do? Wasn't it a fact that you went down in that church and interrupted the service?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do?
I went, after that, I went down into the sanctuary, and I grabbed the microphone on the floor, and I said, excuse me, but people of Avery, I want you to know that as a result of what Mrs. Strong said to Reverend Strong 2 weeks ago, I was just attacked by Reverend Strong in the secretary's office.
But you didn't tell them that you had bitten your pastor, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, thank you so very kindly. And remember, as Abraham Ross said, I don't make the news, I just report it.
Yeah.
And I'm not reporting it, the people reporting it themselves. Thank you so very kindly.
Okay.
I have on the line now Dr. Leotis Strong, who's been on my program many times, and who has certainly been a friend of ours. Now, I don't make the news, I just report it, and I'm going to let you hear both sides of it, and you decide for yourself what you believe. I was not at Avery, and I'm not talking about hearsay. You heard what the young man said. He said he was there. And I'm talking to Dr. Strong. Dr. Strong?
Hey, how you doing?
Dr. Strong, I'm feeling good this morning. You know, I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma.
I feel pretty good also.
Okay, I just heard a story that you are...
You heard a lie. You heard a lie. You heard a bunch of lies. That's what you just heard.
Okay.
Let me throw you some truth in. I'm on my way out to Arcadia. I'm picking up a group of kids, young guys who are in for a male mentoring program. It's one of the programs that we try to provide for the community. We do an after-school program for young kids also, 3 days a week. And on the Sunday that he mentioned, a couple of Sundays ago, we gave over $17,000 to young people pursuing their education, some of them out at Langston. But let me get to this. This boy is a pathological liar. He is emotionally disturbed, I believe. And let me just throw a little truth in. This boy came to our church. He has some musical talent, I'll give him that, and we were in desperate need of somebody to work with our youth choir, and so I thought he was the answer to a prayer. I put him, how did he get to be where he was? I put him there. I hired him, and I could fire him. And I subsequently fired him with cause. He came begging for money, claiming that he was in such desperate financial condition that he was going to file for bankruptcy if he didn't get some money soon. I asked him, how much money do you need? He said, I need $700 or I'm going to have to file for bankruptcy. I said, well, $700? Nobody files for bankruptcy for $700. I said, I'll try to help you get the money, and I'll try to help you get the load off your shoulder. I gave the boy, he just got there. We have requirements for our scholarship program. I gave him $500 out of our scholarship program against the advice of some of the other scholarship board members, but you know how people just listen to and go along with the pastor when he's trying to help somebody. I gave him money out of our benevolent fund, out of our fund that we try to buy medicine for people, we pay rent for people, we do a lot, buy food for people. I gave him money out of that fund because he came begging for money to keep from having to file for bankruptcy because he claimed he owed $700. Now, one of my problems is that I'm a very compassionate person, and I've tried to help people. And this is one of the incidents that I've tried to help somebody that he's come back to literally, no pun intended, bite me, okay? I believe it was a scam from day one that he used this bankruptcy thing trying to punch a button because as I have talked to people about this, they've told me that it requires $900 just to file for bankruptcy. So I think it was a scam. Okay, he says that I threatened him through somebody who said it's going to be on. This is Luper. Anybody who knows me and my vocabulary knows that that's not even my language. Come on, be real. It's going to be on. Is that the way Leo the Strong talks? That is not what I tried to do because it's a methodology that I use in my professional employment as well as both ministry at the church and at the VA hospital. I try to deal with people face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball. What I said to that young lady was that I want to deal with Simeon and talk to him person to person, face to face. And it's odd that this lady would say that she felt threatened and that I became so fearful when her husband came up because we continued the conversation for 20 minutes after her husband came up. For a full 20 minutes. And I had to end the conversation because she just kept going on and on and on and on. So we've got to separate truth from fact, truth from fiction here.
Did you curse him?
I did not call that boy an MF. I did not call him an SP. I did not call him either of those. And let me just further say that I picked up the telephone because he had picked up the stapler to try to attack me with it. There are people who... Well, let me back up. I took him out of the sanctuary because I wanted no disruptions in the sanctuary. I took him over to an office. I took people with me, other stewards of the church, because that's what the Bible says. You know, you go to a person face to face, talk to them one-on-one if there's a problem, and if they won't hear you, then you take elders of the church. I did exactly what the Bible says do. I sat down and tried to reason with this boy and let him know that the kind of verbal assault that he had made on my wife would not be tolerated by me. It would not, it just definitely would not be. She was not even talking to him. He interjected himself into a conversation that did not even involve him. And he made all kind of disrespectful, rude, threatening remarks to her, okay? She did not tell me about it until after I had gotten home, but like any husband, I wanted to deal with the situation. I fired him. If he's angry with me, you come and deal with me. Don't take out an action that involves me. Don't take that out on my wife and on my family. I don't care who you are.